Good morning. How you like the new seating arrangement? It's beautiful, huh? I like it too. There's a new territory that I never saw before. Like a fire transformation bringing through my core. Shining in the darkness, I can see the light of day. And this new territory is my strength, it is my way. Yes, this new territory is my strength, so let us pray. Well, I pray that you see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. Wake up and see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. Let go and see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. Say yes, and see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. Forgive, and see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. Wake up and see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of it. Stand up and see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. Well, I pray that you will see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. There's a new territory that I never saw before. Like a fire of transformation breaking through the core. Shining in the darkness, can see the light of day. And this new territory is our strength, it is our way. Yes, this new territory is our strength, so let us pray. Well, I pray that you see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. I pray that you will see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. Pray that you see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything.
Good morning, beautiful people. It's so nice to see you all here. Thank you for coming. I'm Robert Leeds. I use he, his pronouns, And I'd like to thank our very talented musicians, Luke Monfreik on vocals, Amy Levine on the piano. Let's also give some love to our masterful sound engineer, Levi Griffin. Welcome to the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living on this glorious day, where we teach spiritual principles and practices that nourish us, uplift us, and celebrate our oneness with all of life. A special welcome to those of you who are joining us for the very first time. We're so glad to have you here in the sanctuary with us. If you are here for the first time, if you wouldn't mind raising your hand, we have a welcome packet for you. The ushers are on the job. Also, a big welcome to those who are joining us via YouTube Live and Facebook Live. Give them a little wave. Wave like the Queen. Make sure you sign up for our weekly newsletter so you can learn about all the fun things we have to offer here at the Oakland Center. We respectfully acknowledge that here in the Bay Area, we gather on the traditional land of the indigenous Ohlone people. We honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have stewarded these lands for countless generations. Now let's take a moment to bless our children, wherever they are. We bless all the children in our community and the world. We love you, we see you, we know the truth of who you are. You are unique expressions of God, and we are grateful to have you in our lives. And so it is. We're keeping the announcements short today because we have very special holiday programs every Sunday this month. Today, Hanukkah, next week, the winter solstice, then Christmas, then New Year's and Kwanzaa. Please visit our website at oaklandcsl.org for more details about holiday and year-end activities happening at our center and what's coming up in the new year. Sign up for our weekly newsletter, The Village News, by clicking the I'm New button. Please follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook for special updates and content you'll only find by liking and subscribing to Oakland Center. And I also just want to give a shout out to Paul Pursuti, who did this lovely, we love Paul. He did this lovely display for Hanukkah up here, and there's going to be ones for each of the other celebrations this Sunday, filling up the room. So really a lovely job. Thank you. And now, please stand if you are willing and able, and let us recite together our vision and mission statement. The vision of the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living is to joyfully reveal the love and oneness of God. We are a welcoming and inclusive spiritual community dedicated to individual transformation and collective growth. Our purpose is to love, inspire, and serve our community and the world through education, music, prayer, and play.
We're on? Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy Holy Sunday. We're starting the holy season with a bang. Did you notice that we have a little bit of a shift to the chair situation? And so some might have came in and went, what? She moved my chair? The nerve of her. Listen, we're doing this for a reason. There's a couple reasons, and I just want to, and actually I'm consecrating it right now because I get to walk the red carpet. Don't you like that? The thing is, not only are we here in this holy holiday season, it's a sacred time, and that is why we have opened up the labyrinth, and we have our children coming in too. Y'all just take a look quietly. Don't let them look. You know that, they're coming in. This is lovely that our children are coming in for a reason as well. But we've opened up the labyrinth. And I keep belaboring it because it's important. We're creating consciousness, but we're not creating consciousness. We're tapping into the holy divine consciousness. It's about healing and transformation, and this is how we're going to get it done. And Spirit gave me this idea to be in the round. And I met with my beloved Paul Pursuti, and I said, Paul, how can we make this so? And so what I want you all to know is we have come up with about 5 to 7 formats for this sanctuary that we can create different experiences in here. And what that does is make our sanctuary more usable for other people. And what that means is that's income. Let me be candid, you know? We get to open our doors for other people to use our space because we have flexibility. So I'm being transparent and honest to tell you what it is, what we're doing. We're going to change up on the brochure and market to specific areas to say, come have your thing here, because here's what we can do. So let's give that a hand, please. I want to thank Paul Pursuti and Tricia Gregor and Ruth Jackson for making this happen, because this was not necessarily an easy thing. So let's thank them. Thank you, Paul. Yesterday, we had a beautiful memorial service for our beloved Christine Anderson. How many of you were here? Anybody? Yes? It was so lovely, and the reason I mention that is the energetic is still here in this sacred place. And we talked about love. Christine, everybody that's had anything to say about her had to say something about love. So love is in the air. Breathe it in. Whether you know you're breathing it or not, trust me, it's here. Let every pore of your being breathe in this love. I want to welcome anyone who is here from the former launching pad, any of Christine's family or friends from yesterday that are here. We welcome you in the audience. I have another exciting thing that I get to christen and announce. We have hired a new operations coordinator. Yay for that, as Constance prepares to retire. And I want to tell you who he is, and actually he's in the house, so I'll be able to introduce you to him. He starts next Tuesday. His name is Steve Carter, and let me tell you a little bit about Steve. Steve Carter started his New Thought journey in 2003. He was a member of Unity of Berkeley and held various volunteer positions. He served on the leadership team for which he was the board president twice. He also served as a prayer chaplain, earning the nickname Dr. Love. In addition, he was the facilities manager and served as event host and marketing coordinator for many of the events hosted by Unity of Berkeley. Steve volunteered for his services at Unity of Richmond, East Bay, where he was the board president also, and helped the church through the beginning of the pandemic. He guided the church from an in-person service to a virtual platform via Zoom. Most recently, he served at Unity of Napa, where he was a consultant tasked with managing the operational activities of the church. He created a marketing team, Beth. I knew Beth would say something. Reinhardt, if he's in here. And to develop strategies to increase the size of the congregation. What I will say that's not on his bio is he's been here at OCSL as well. He told me he's visited here when Reverend Joan was here and when Reverend Margaret was here. So he's familiar with religious science as well. Steve has over 20 years administrative management, professional handling of a wide range of administrative, technical, and executive support projects and tasks, in addition to administrative management, experience in customer service, purchasing, supply chain management, and project management. Here's the important part. Steve loves all things outdoors, including gardening. Where's Bob? Is Bob in the house? Yeah, there's Bob. And there's Margot. Including gardening, camping, hiking, and long drives in the country or along the coast. He loves the natural world, which is exhibited in his photography. Can we see the slide with There he is, and there he is in the audience. Please stand. Meet Steve Carter. Thank you. And so Constance, who's standing in the door with her red on, her retirement celebration is coming up on December, what's the Friday, Constance? 29th? 29th, what time is it at? 6 o'clock, okay, over in the social hall. So there's an RSVP that you can find on our newsletter, and so that we can know who's coming. Beautiful. What else do I have? Okay, last but not least, I mean, it's just such an exciting day, and then we'll get into the Hanukkah presentation, right? I told you this was going to be a different kind of program, right? This is the holiday season, and we get to welcome in this newness. This is newness. This is newness that's happening. So I have a special presentation for 3 emeritus practitioners that I want to recognize. And we have many other emeritus practitioners. But what I want to do is call up here with me Mr. Andy Robbins, Ms. Jackie Onapede, which the children are here to witness, and Ms. Robin Rice Olmsted. Can you come up here with me, please? I'm so glad we actually got Jackie to come over here. I said, please bring the kids, okay, so that they can witness this. So when I first got here on November 28th last year, Jackie Onapede had already had her application in for emeritus practitioner. Here's what that means, that you were a licensed practitioner in good standing with Centers for Spiritual Living at your home community for 20 years. And so she had applied for it. She got it while I was here on my watch. Reverend Jerry ushered her through, and it happened. And I got so busy, I neglected to acknowledge it. So what I want to do is acknowledge Miss Jackie Onapede. And let me tell you, hang on before you clap. Jackie has been here for years and years and years. You know, I've been in this community twice other times, and Jackie has been here the whole time in different roles. But her passion, her passion are the children. She's our youth director right now and does wonderful things with the children, and she's also in the Agape family as a practitioner. She's one of these, all 3 of them are just busy. They just busy. Anyway, we're gonna recognize Miss Jackie Onapede. Give her some love. You can stand up. Yeah, yay, Jackie. You see that? That's for you. Thank you so much. And you can have a seat. Oh, she's trying to tell you how to take the picture. That's Jackie. Okay, enough of the photo ops. Get those afterwards. Okay, so next, Mr. Andy Robbins just hit his 20 years, and Andy was also here when I was here time before. Been here forever doing music production, all things AV. He kind of oversees all that team over there, does a lovely job, doesn't he? For so long, he's so passionate about it. He's here every single Sunday to make sure that everything goes right. And listen, I'm going to do a plug, because what I do know is he's ready to kind of step aside for some new blood to take over. So if you have a passion for anything production or AV related, we need your service so that we can help him to move on to other things. But let us please give a warm round of applause for Mr. Andy Robbins. And last but not least is Miss Robin Rice Olmsted, who also was here when I was here before and before. These are some long-standing people who have been here, and so am I, for that matter. And Robin, talk about busy. she's all over the place all at once. I don't know how she does it, as a matter of fact. And she is also a licensed agape practitioner, as is Jackie Onapede, and as well as a Science of Mind practitioner. So they've done two parallel professional spiritual programs where they're licensed. Can you imagine that? And she also, Robin, serves on the Centers for Spiritual Living, the whole home office practitioner council in leadership. And Robin was the cause of Marianne Williamson coming here in October. There were a lot of places that she could have advocated that Marianne Williamson come, but she advocated for this being the best place for that. And didn't we have a good time with Marianne Williamson? And so, you know, we want to thank Robin in particular because she's moved. She's now in San Diego, and her husband, Reverend Gil Olmsted, is the senior minister in New Mexico. You know, so she's been here in California, in Northern California, in Southern California, and in New Mexico, and no telling where else. So we have a little gift for you. I just want to acknowledge you for your hard work, your dedication, and what you have given this community over the years. Thank you, Robin. Congratulations. You may be seated. And now we are going to turn it over for the rest of the program to the Hanukkah team. Robert and Amy are leading that, and take it away. Thanks for your attention.
Go ahead and just stand in front. Well, hello again. I'm Robert Leeds, and if you've been a part of this community for a while, you know that I periodically give a little talk on some of the Jewish holidays. Reverend Sunshine said, I want more. Not more of me, more of us. And I really appreciate Reverend Sunshine's vision for making this more of a community thing. I'm also really grateful that all the children are here because Hanukkah is very children focused. So what's going to happen today is I'm going to give you a little bit of background on the holiday. Amy's going to talk a little bit about some of the traditions and the observances for Hanukkah. And then we're going to actually light the candles and say the Hebrew prayers and even let you know what they mean in English. So every winter, Jews celebrate the 8-day festival of Hanukkah, also known as the Festival of Lights. And it's perhaps the best known and certainly the most visible of the Jewish holidays. But for most of Jewish history, Hanukkah was actually a relatively minor holiday, and still is for Orthodox Jews. It started out as a celebration of a military victory and then evolved into a celebration of a miracle. But before we go any further, I have to answer the burning question. Why is Hanukkah spelled in so many different ways? Does it have a C in front or not? Does it have 2 Ks or 1 K? 1 N or 2 Ns? The reason for this is that Hanukkah is a Hebrew word, and it's written in a different alphabet. Since there is not a one-to-one correspondence between the sounds in Hebrew and also the letters in the English alphabet and the Hebrew alphabet, there are different ways when people translate it that it shows up in English. It's actually called a transliteration, which is when you just try to convey the sounds in as close as possible to the original. So that's the reason why, and there will never be one way to spell it. Or like what they say about Jews is like, 2 Jews, 3 opinions. So that's never going to be resolved. Okay, so how did this all start? Even though it is 2,200 years old, Hanukkah is one of Judaism's newest holidays. It's the only Jewish holiday that is not connected to something in the Hebrew Bible. The historical event That is, the basis for Hanukkah is the victory of the Maccabees, who are kind of a ragtag army of freedom-fighting Jews, against the much more powerful army of King Antiochus IV of Syria. In 168 BC, Antiochus outlawed Jewish practice and forbid the Jews to practice and forced them to adopt pagan rituals and assimilate into what was then the remnants of Greek culture. The Maccabees revolted against this persecution. They recaptured Jerusalem from Antiochus's control, removed from the Jewish temple symbols of pagan worship that Antiochus had introduced, and set about to reconsecrate the temple. The word Hanukkah means dedication because it celebrates the rededication of the Holy Temple. Now, when they went in to light the temple's menorah, which was a 7-branched candelabra, they found only a single jar of sacred oil that had escaped contamination by the Greeks. Miraculously, they lit the menorah, and the 1-day supply of oil lasted for 8 days until new oil could be purified for ritual use. So that's the story that all Jewish children learn, what they're told about for Hanukkah. Now, while it originally celebrated that Maccabees victory, for a variety of reasons, I won't go into historical, sociological reasons, the emphasis shifted from the military victory to the miracle of the oil around the 6th century AD. In either case, the holiday commemorates the overcoming of oppression and the perseverance of the Jewish people. Throughout the medieval period, however, Hanukkah remained a relatively minor Jewish festival. It's gained more prominence in the past 100 years, partly because of its proximity to Christmas, but also as a symbol of perseverance in the wake of the Holocaust and other forms of anti-Semitic persecution in the 20th century. I just want to mention one thing about the menorah. So it has 3 candles because we are still in the 3rd day. What happens in the Jewish calendar, in addition to it being a lunar calendar, the days begin at sundown. Why? Because it says in Genesis, there was darkness and there was light the first day. So Jews consider the setting of the sun to initiate the day. So we're still in the 3rd day. The candles that we lit last night were 3 candles, and so we're continuing that today. And I'm now going to turn it over to Amy.
Hi, my name is Amy Chavnik. I use the pronoun she, her. I just want to express my gratitude to be able to share these traditions with you in the light of the growing anti-Semitism that's over 300% right now. So many of these observations were things that I grew up with as a kid, Hanukkah being one of the better holidays to celebrate when you're a kid. So at the heart of the festival is the nightly menorah lighting, and the menorah holds 9 candles, one of which is called the shamash, which means attendant or helper. And that shamash candle is used to light the other candles. The presence of the shamash is one feature that distinguishes the Hanukkah menorah, which is also called a Hanukkiah, from the menorah that Robert referred to, that was used in ancient times, that had 7 branches of equal height. On the first night, we light 1 candle. On the second night, an additional candle is lit. And by the 8th night, all 8 candles are kindled, plus the shamash. The shamash always stays burning in each night, just in case you need to relight any of the other candles. Once lit, the menorah is traditionally placed in a window so it can be publicly viewed. That's also a symbolic act against oppression and to light the world. And I know that there's a menorah project I saw online where anyone who wants to show solidarity with Jewish people can download a paper menorah that you can paste into your window. No holiday is complete, of course, without symbolic foods. And since Hanukkah involved a miracle with the oil lasting 8 days, it's customary to eat fried foods. Who doesn't like fried foods? Yay. The Eastern European classic is the potato latke, which is garnished with either applesauce or sour cream. and there are actually songs about which one you're supposed to put on it that I could share with you in the social hall that the Levies have created, a little group that creates some songs. The Israelis' favorite foods to eat are sufganiyot, which are jelly donuts. So in my home, it is custom to make latkes on the first night, although I am making them more than on the first night this year. And then I also make homemade sufganiyot on the last night. So pretty much my house is smelling like oil the whole holiday. When you come in my house, that's what it'll smell like. So as Robert said, Hanukkah is very focused on children, which is why as a child I really love this holiday. It is customary to play with the dreidel. We have several here, and I think that Tino is going to be teaching the kids how to play dreidel. It's a four-sided spinning top bearing the Hebrew letters Nun, Gimel, Hey, and Shin, which is an acronym for the Hebrew phrase Nes Gadol Haya Sham, a great miracle happened there. Legend has it that the dreidel was used as camouflage. Students who were studying religious texts, remember they weren't supposed to be, right? In defiance of the Hellenist ban on Jewish learning, kept the dreidel in their pocket. As Hellenist soldiers, Greek soldiers approached, they quickly hid their scrolls and took out their dreidels. How could soldiers protest an innocent game of dreidel? The game is usually played for either a pot of coins or a candy, which is won or lost based on which letter it lands on. Because of the proximity to Christmas, the practice of giving gifts on Hanukkah grew in the 20th century. I mean, as a kid, I always saw my friends who were not Jewish getting all these gifts on Christmas, and here we were celebrating Hanukkah and getting potato latkes and playing with the dreidel. We did create a tradition, and that actually is a tradition to give Hanukkah gelt, which is the Yiddish word for money, so to give Hanukkah gelt to children. And in addition to rewarding children for positive behavior, the gift of money also gives the children the opportunity to give tzedakah, or charity. Well, it's usually translated as charity, but it can be a broader concept like the law of circulation. Hanukkah gelt also spawned the phenomena of foil-covered chocolate gelt, which you might have seen in stores, which is more symbolic than it is tasty. So I much prefer to eat the square Ghirardelli chocolate, although maybe I need to write a letter to Ghirardelli to start making some chocolate gelt. So in conclusion, Hanukkah joins many other midwinter holidays that invoke light. It is a celebration of overcoming oppression, a reminder to persevere and stand up for what's right, no matter the odds, to help create a world that works for everyone. So in this holy season, consider how you can be like the Shamash and kindle the light in others. By helping others, you light up the world. And now we're going to light the candles.
Blessed are you, O our God, ruler of the universe, who makes us holy through your commandments and commands us to light the Hanukkah lights. And the second one, blessed are you, O our God, ruler of the universe, who performed miracles for our ancestors in their days at this season.
Let your light shine.
Good morning. Life is full, right? And you get to see us in production. We are, if nothing, we are transparent here at Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. So my name is Robin Rice Olmsted, and I'm so grateful to be here with you today. I'm going to start with some readings and then take us into prayer. So our first reading is from Ernest Holmes. Since there is but one Spirit, and this Spirit is in you, and everything in everything, then everywhere you go, you will meet this Spirit. You meet this Spirit in people, in places, and in things. And our second reading. It is not our differences that divide us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences. Audre Lorde. So let's just take this into prayer. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, let's just breathe into this moment. And just being so grateful for this moment, for this joyous time of rededication that has been spoken. We just rededicate ourselves to the knowingness that God is in all, as all, and through all. That God is that place of harmony and joy and faith and beauty and infinite possibility. And I know that that's who I am. I know that I am inseparable from the one, that I can be nothing but that place of infinite possibility. So with each and every breath, I recalibrate and know that. And I know that's true for each and every person here, and each and every person listening, and each and every person that just feels the vibration that we set right here, right now. That they are one with the one. And so how glorious it is to just know and declare this day a day of celebration, truly a day that the Lord hath made, that this is a time to celebrate the joys of the season of Hanukkah and of all of the occasions that are coming and the celebrations and the joy, knowing that it is only one thing. It is only one thing happening, and we are here to exhibit that. So we stand in that knowingness. We stand knowing that we are the change, and we claim that, and we take that out into the world. And I know that today, that the message that is spoken comes through Reverend Savannah like no other. It is not work, it is just pure joy of spirit to share through Reverend Savannah what we need to hear and what we need to know. And I know the same is true for the musicians. My God, Lukman takes us to church with every note that he sings. And what I know is that we carry that out into the world, in our hearts, in our cellular being, knowing that we can breathe and call on that in any moment. So we celebrate. We celebrate the joy that God is and we are. And for this and so much more, we are grateful. And we just allow it to be by saying, and so it is. Ashe, Amin, Shalom, así es.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, and also are the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I see babies crying, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful world. What a wonderful world. What a wonderful world.
We are so blessed, don't you agree? Lukman and Amy, thank you. Thank you so much. My name is Reverend Sally Bartholomew. My pronouns are she and her, and I get the honors of introducing our speaker today. She's really somebody that we know. As Reverend Sunshine said, she has come home. But let me tell you a little bit about Reverend Savannah. Reverend Savannah Noel is a speaker, a teacher, and a relationship coach. Savannah supports people in their discovery of healthy, connected, conscious, intimate relationships and worthiness. An ordained minister with a master's degree in consciousness studies, Savannah has been a guest speaker at events in London, Kyiv, Vancouver, Cairo. She has worked extensively with global outreach within the Science of Mind community, most notably both in Egypt during their revolution in 2012 and ongoing in Ukraine over a span of 11 years teaching and speaking. Over the last 18 years, she has taught hundreds of students with her signature classes and workshops. Anybody been to any of hers? I know there's several within the community here, yes. She has most recently completed a year-long project supporting and coaching teen girls struggling with anxiety and depression and mental health challenges all over the country. She is currently based in Seattle, Washington. Savannah has been a staff minister previously at the Oakland Center. Please, let us welcome Reverend Savannah.
All right, we're gonna do this. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is a new setup, and I'm grateful to step into the red carpet. I think I deserve it. Because y'all, I just turned 40. Is that okay? Yeah, so this is another home for me. Is this good? Okay. And the beautiful thing about this weekend is I had already booked my flight here for this weekend, particularly because I wanted to celebrate my 40th with my dear girlfriends here. And then it just so happened, as life happens, that Christine Anderson, who was a longtime friend of mine, her memorial was on the same weekend. And so I just want to say, Reverend Sunshine, thank you for allowing me to speak here this morning. It just felt right, and it feels right. And when I first got this topic, recognizing wholeness, seeing the good in all, I thought, wow, this is really interesting coming into my 40th year, most especially because of how the last few years have developed in my life. It's been a really tough year for me. And, you know, it's sometimes hard to see the good in what's going on in the world right now. Most especially when what we see out picturing is separation and chaos and war and isolation and fear. And it seems that there is this rise in uncertainty in so many lives. And there's this disconnect in some ways, I find, from what's really important. And yet, on this journey, what I think this teaching gives to us and it provides us is a starting point. It is a new frame of perspective and reference, should we choose to view it and believe it that way. It gives us oneness and wholeness. And I have to tell you that as a student coming into the Science of Mind teaching, these concepts of wholeness and oneness are, to me, just so esoteric and out there. Am I alone here? When you first, you're like, what does that even mean? What does it even mean that everything is part of the one wholeness of all of life? And so where I like to take it back to are kind of the existential questions of life that I think we all ask at some point, which is the starting point of who am I? Why am I here? It's the basis, I think, of this teaching. We talk about the thing itself, and it starts with first cause. It's the very nature of beingness. We teach that God is in all things, that we are part of this one thing going on, and that everything and every experience is part of the wholeness. This circle here, representative of that, the Science of Mind symbol up there, the wholeness, the oneness of all of life. And then the question, though, is, but can it all, everything that happens in our lives, in this one thing that's going on, can it all really be good? So for me, I take it back to who am I, why am I here? But even further than that, over this last few years, I've been really pondering the questions of identity and ego. Our ego identification with the title, you know, the Reverend title that I know many of us worked so hard to get, and I love the title, but it's still an identification. The identification with a job, the title of mother or electrician or engineer or scientist or whatever it is, right? Identifying with that gives us meaning and value. And I found myself this last year really in a space of questioning identity, of what it is that gives me value, something that defines us that gives us value. And for me, I think it's been tied to belonging. It's been tied to community, of I identify as X and therefore I belong. And so this morning, I invite you into a space of curiosity of who you really are and why you're here. Yes, we have been told time and time again that God is all there is and that the power and the presence of life lives and breathes and moves through all of us, but it really, for me, has been a journey of looking at this all over again, most especially in times of difficulty. And so the question of who am I? Well, 4 years ago, I would have told you that I'm a minister, a speaker, a teacher, an author, a spiritual seeker, a relationship coach, and a dating expert. And 20 years ago, for those who've been around me long enough to know that, I would have told you that I was a teacher, a licensed practitioner, a traveler, and an ambitious 20-something seeking fame and to be known. I would have told you that I had a powerful purpose and a vision, and that I was destined to be on billboards and interviewed by Dr. Michael Beckwith on radio shows. I would have told you that I had my eyes set on becoming somebody important. And for years, I think that was the driver of a lot of it. Of course, it was about inspiration and service, but I started so young. You see, there were powerful people in this New Thought movement of ours who had planted these seeds in my mind and in my heart that said, Savannah, you're going to be great. You're going to become somebody. It was that moment that I will never forget, these defining moments of our lives when I was 20 years old, standing in Asilomar Merrill Hall. I was about to take the stage. No, actually, I had taken the stage. I walked off the stage, and here comes Dr. Michael Beckwith. It was his last Asilomar conference, and he put his hands on my shoulders, and he said, you are going to be great. You're going to become somebody, and I'm in your corner. was powerful people like that, those defining moments. You know, those teachers and those cheerleaders are so important to us, aren't they? In those formative years. And so I set out to become something. I traveled the world. Many of you witnessed this, you know, to accomplish, to become great, to do things in the movement that no one had done, for youth and family to be recognized as something that is an integral part of growing our communities and our organization. But what I had to notice is, do you notice, I noticed that I described myself as an identity or some kind of quality that we possess. And so there was this vision that was pulling me, and I didn't know fully who I was. I was just following the next right and perfect thing that dropped into my lap. It seemed the bouncing ball. And guess what happened instead? Because the driving force of my work in the world was, if I can attain this thing, then I will be valued, I will be seen, I will be, as I said, on billboards, and I will be great. But guess what happened instead? Life had a different idea. The initiation is what I call it, started. How many of you are familiar in here with the hero or the heroine's journey? A few of you, Joseph Campbell's work. There's this quote that once you step on the path, you can't unsee it. For a lot of us who've come into this teaching, we see that once you step on the path and you start taking ownership and responsibility for the life that you're creating, it's really hard to go back and be a victim. We can, but once you step on the path, you can't unsee it. And so this was the community I always wanted to find. It was the teaching, it was the philosophy that completely transformed my life. And what happens in the heroine's journey is that it always starts with the call. It starts with the adventure. Something's pulling you, a vision, a project, an idea, something greater, something bigger. It's a vocation, you know, and then there's the denial of the thing. No, it's too big for me. No, that's too scary. I don't want to step in those waters. Refusing the call. I can't do it. I'm not good enough. It's not mine to do. The fears, the trepidation, the self-sabotage. Anyone relate with this? Like, nope, that's not mine. That's not my call. And this is what Richard Rohr in his book, Falling Forward, which I so love, calls the first half of life. This is what the first half of life is all about. It's this place where we find ourselves so self-preoccupied. It's the seeking of success and responses and validations and specialness. It's where we develop this ego structure in order to survive. It's where we want order and we want everything in its right place. And yet, we haven't moved into, in that first half life, typically, the real, deeper, meaningful questions that would move us forward and evolve. And I've seen this in my case from this calling that I got, you know, at 16 years old to travel the world and teach science of mind principles. And then years later, it was someone nudging me to become a minister. But again, the driving force at that time, I feel like, was ego, fame, to become somebody important. It was a lot of mentors and cheerleaders, you know, and I became identified with the title and the story. And you know, once you commit to the thing, once you commit to the calling, to the path, it's like you cross this threshold into the underbelly. And what happened in my life is I had to, in the striving of becoming somebody, I found myself becoming nobody. During the pandemic, the most fascinating thing about my story is not that I am special or unique. I think it's because I'm here talking about, can we see the good in everything? Can we see that everything is part of this one wholeness? Can we see it everywhere? And what I'm about to share with you right now might even have you questioning your own path. Also, it's not unique in that I'm talking about belonging and community a lot. And the irony is that I don't know that I've ever felt that I fully belonged in one community, that I knew where my place really was. I can honestly say that I don't know that a lot of the things in my life have felt good but they have been necessary. I traveled the world seeking to be of service in Ukraine for 11 years, and of course Egypt and all of the amazingness of that. And many of you watched through the years, the drama and trauma years, I call them, the years of drama and trauma of, breakups and inner child work and therapy and ministerial classes and school and degrees and family dramas, the pain pushes till the vision pulls thing that we talk about a lot. In my attempts to seeking to become somebody, to be seen and validated, to make it, I can say that I truly made a difference. I do believe that. But the question was, okay, you're serving here and there, and what is the purpose? Was this self-serving? Am I counting the number of heads in the audience to somehow make myself feel worthy of your love and my belonging? So what happened is I then fell into the abyss, and I think many of us in this room can relate to falling into the abyss, especially in the last few years. A few years ago, when I left Oakland, I took a job as an assistant minister at a community in Seattle, and it was going to be this new collaborative form of ministry. And then the pandemic hit, and of course we were all thrown into hybrid, and I learned a lot, and it was the best thing for my online teaching business. But what came after that was a tuberculosis diagnosis. I know, it's weird. Like, really? I remember getting the diagnosis and laughing on the phone, because in my mind I thought, okay, universe, really? Like, we're going that far? Like Doc Holliday tuberculosis? Is that what you mean? And the doctor's like, yes. And I said, well, this is going to be a great sermon one day. So there was that. And then COVID hit. I got a really bad case of COVID. And then I had an friend of mine go missing. And then a murder here in Oakland of a dear friend happened. And then my cousin died of COVID. And the deaths and the losses just didn't stop. And then there was a job loss. I was laid off from the community that I was in, that I had moved there for. And I wondered, where do I belong? Where does my ministry belong? I found myself at one point working 3 jobs as a cocktail waitress by night and coffee shop by day, and speaking and teaching on the weekends. And I had hit this place of like, this is so humbling and some of the hardest work I've ever done. And my business, I thought, was soaring. Everything seemed to be going so well. And at this point, one starts to question the path. Like, really, God, really? What is this for? Why am I doing this? Why have I worked so hard and I've been so faithful to my vision to just fall on my face? The fear and the anxiety became quite great. And I started questioning the very faith and the foundation of this teaching. Am I the only one who's ever questioned that? Thank you. Oh my gosh. I fell into this abyss, into the dark. You could call it a dark night of the soul. And then I had this realization. It was this need to be where I'm not. The need to be somewhere else. I don't want to be in the discomfort. I don't want to be in the unease. I don't want to be in the struggle anymore. I know what this teaching is. I know what it says. I don't want to be in that dark place anymore. So it pushed me into acceptance, accepting the phase that we are in, accepting the phase that you are in, because there is something in that we are meant to know and to discover and to learn and to heal about ourselves. And I had to go, Savannah, it's not on your time, even though I'd like it to be. And I know that everyone here in this room has stories of pain and hardship and struggle of your own, in your own lives, in your own way. I think that some of us might be struggling with a collective PTSD of all that's going on in the world. I found this beautiful poem by one of my favorite authors, Khalil Gibran, on fear. He says, "It is said that before entering the sea, a river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she has traveled, From the peaks of the mountains, the long winding road crossing forests and villages. And in front of her, she sees an ocean so vast that to enter there seems nothing more than to disappear forever. But there is no other way. The river cannot go back. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in existence. The river needs to take the risk of entering the ocean because only then will fear disappear, because that's where the river will know it's not about disappearing into the ocean, but of becoming the ocean. So I promise you that there's hope in this talk, that there was a turning point where on the heroine's journey I fell into the abyss and then I found my resilience, and I feel like that's like my middle name, you know. The researcher Brene Brown has done a lot of work on shame and resilience. And she did this study where she wanted to discover and understand why some people can cope with stress and trauma in a way that allows them to move forward in their lives, and why there are some other people who stay stuck and they're more affected. And she says the 5 most common factors of resilience are these. Number 1, people are resourceful and have good problem-solving skills. The most resilient people are more likely to seek help. The most resilient people hold the belief that they can do something that will help them to manage their feelings and to cope. The 4th is they have social support available to them. And the 5th is they are connected with others, such as family or friends. And what I found so beautiful about this work that she did, and of course we all understand this sitting in this room because we've been part of this, community for a minute, is that the stories she was hearing from people about resilience, what they had in common was there was a spiritual component. They all had spirituality in common. So as we're coming into this turning point, and I haven't made it all the way to the other side, I don't know if you ever do, but I'm over here in this turning point where I'm in this space of hope and resilience, and I came to a new understanding, and this is the piece I really, really, really want you to get. Is that this life I feel I'm living is deliciously ambiguous. And it has some of the most amazing lessons in it. And I'm looking right now at these low moments as gifts in my life, as a way to refine and teach, to show us how to let go of the roles and the ego identifications that make us feel special and self-important. And life is asking us, and it's asking me, to be right here in the middle. I'm literally in the middle. To be right here in the middle because that's where the journey is. Here is where the answers are. Here is where those unexpected miracles and gifts are. The infinite possibilities and opportunities we talk about. Life is asking us to be in this here and now place because, as we know, right here is where the presence is. Right here is where the good and the miracles and the joy are. Right here is where we don't actually have to be anywhere else but here. Right here is where the not knowing is. Right here is where the growth is. Right here is where my peace is. And right here and now is the only actual here we have. And so although I wish that it weren't so, I have to consider that this right now in the middle moment is answered prayer, because it is the exact thing that is catapulting me and catapulting you into the next evolution of who you're meant to be. So the question we get to ask ourselves is, what is my next right and intended step and perfect step? What is the right and next step for my becoming? Something new, there's this newness word being thrown around. I actually think that this is the microcosm of the macrocosm of this greater organization of Centers for Spiritual Living, which is something new wants to emerge. Because there is no secret in the organization that we either evolve the teaching to adapt to those people in the world and ways they can hear it and understand it, like words like wholeness and oneness, so that we can meet people, like changing our jargon a little bit so that we bring more people into the room. But it means we have to evolve, therefore, otherwise we will perish. So the hope, The last thing I want to say is that the hope that this teaching, that this new thought, ancient wisdom brings to us is that we start to see that the work that we're doing in the world is not just for an individual purpose, but it is for an evolutionary purpose, for our own individual souls and for the collective. We start to see, and this is the piece where I really had to have the ego death to come to a new understanding that my role in the world, my identity, whatever it is, none of it matters because it's all about service. It's all about service. It's about giving our gifts away because they're not actually ours. So it's less about ego and more about service. Take that with you as you leave today. And this is where, as Christine Anderson always was this is where we get to live out loud. This is where we get to see that ultimately all of this stuff, all of the ups, downs of life is all good. So I want to leave you with these questions. You might just close your eyes for a moment. What is the purpose of the work that I am doing that is bigger than me? What is it about the thing I'm seeking to work on that is about a shift in the world? What is my why? What is the good that is seeking to emerge in my life right now? And so just sitting in the space of these questions, what is the purpose of the work that I'm doing that is bigger than me? We go into a prayer now. Just taking that deep breath. Connecting to that power and that presence and that one life, that one infinite intelligence that is right where we are. Giving thanks that we are so connected to it in every moment that it is never separate from us. And that we have access to it. It is the very breath we breathe. And so what I trust, affirm, and know this day is that whatever is happening in the world of effect, whatever is happening in your own individual life, that we can always come back to that place within us that has never been hurt, harmed, betrayed, or abandoned. To truly remember who and whose we are. The divine spark that lives within each and every one of us. We remember that today despite the appearance, despite the conditions, despite the experience that might be unfolding right now. It is all a part of this tapestry of the beauty and the joy and the pain and the struggle of life. And it is all part of this wholeness of life. And so I bless each and every one of us in this room, those watching. I bless the planet. And I pass my word to Reverend Sally this day as we bless this community.
Word of consciousness, recognizing the wholeness that is fully present even in the dark nights, even in the unknowing, even in the release of ego. For in truth, Spirit is, God is, love is, wholeness is. So continuing this word so lovingly created by Reverend Savannah, I include our community prayer. I give thanks for all of the prayers that are in the prayer box that practitioner Christopher Brown has brought up to the platform. I give thanks for this month's nonprofit partner tribe that serves families across Oakland, Berkeley, and the East Bay, coordinating a range of programs to support youth with high needs to develop skills and grow socially and emotionally, to be productive in their communities. I bless our world and everyone and everything in it, knowing peace, divine order and right action, harmony and wholeness.
And in this moment, I am calling forth love and comfort and peace of mind, health and healing for all of those impacted by challenges in whatever form. And for all of the prayers in our ministry of prayer box, and especially for Lita de Seville, Lupe Capende, Rena Baker, Bobby Watterson, Michaelia, Benny Bridges, Aaron Stewart, Savoy and their family, Larry Williams. And I bless again Christine Anderson and her family as we lovingly release the idea of Christine in form, knowing her spirit continues. I bless the family of Cheryl Archer as they release Justin. I bless the family of Doug Myers and Joe as they release Zion, knowing peace and comfort for all. And in this moment, I invite you to go within your own heart and say the names or name of anyone in need of prayer, to include them in this sacredness of the sanctuary here. Speak your own name and their name as well. And how grateful I am as the names continue to be in this space of community, this space of wholeness, which holds all of us in all of our formats. We are so blessed, and I am so grateful. And so now we simply release this prayer. We let it go to the law that always says, yes, yes, my beloved. And I invite all to join me in sealing this prayer by saying, and so it is. Amen. Thank you, practitioners, for surrounding the congregation and consciousness. And thank you to Reverend Savannah. Let's give her some love. I don't know about you, but I feel like I've been at church. Have you been at church today? All right, beloveds, we are going to move into our time of conscious giving. And I want to invite you to simply turn within for a moment. I want you to put your hands on your heart. And as you do so, I want you to feel into the knowingness of wholeness. Feel into the knowingness of the abundance of life in all of its formats. So as we feel into this, this is what we bring to our offertory time. It's this knowing of the abundance of the universe that is ever present and moving in, through, and as us. So I invite you to prepare your gift if you have not already. If you've already prepared it, pull out the little auto tithe from the back of the chairs, because we'll have an opportunity to continue this feeling tone of the circulation. And I believe we have an affirmation. We will say the affirmation. I will tell you about the other ways that you can give, and then I will invite you to come up. We've got the baskets here in the front, and those of you online, you can navigate yourselves to the giving button at the time. But let's start with the giving affirmation. The joy of giving within me activates the grace of receiving within me. And so it is. And so we have the opportunity to navigate ourselves. These are the ways that we can give. Navigate ourselves to the website. We can click on the donate button. And then once you do that, it takes you to the page that tells us all about text, credit cards, Zelle. There's probably something else up there that I'm forgetting, but there are many ways to give your financial donations to the center. And here in the sanctuary, as the music begins to play, we have the opportunity to give into the baskets and to create this energy of abundance. So welcome. Please bring your gifts to the baskets. Thank you.
Oh, great spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. Oh, great spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. Oh, great spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. Oh, great spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. Love is all is love. Join us in singing the music of one and all in one. No greater blessing neath moon and sun. Oh, great spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. Oh, great spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. Love is all is love. Join us in singing the music of one and all in one. No greater blessing neath moon and sun. Oh, great spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. Oh, great spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. Love is all is love. Join us in singing the music of one and all in one. No greater blessing neath moon and sun. No greater blessing, oh great spirit. No greater blessing, oh great spirit. No greater blessing, oh great spirit.
Oh, great spirit. What a celebration we've had here today. And this wouldn't be possible without the amazingness of our teams and all of the people here. Of course, all of you and you out there watching, but all of the people that are in service. So thank you so much to all of our tech team, our AV people, our constants behind the scenes during the week making slides, and so many people. And of course, Luc Van Frank and Amy Lavagne. It's incredible. They're incredible, right? And really, just remember, you carry them with you. They're with you all the time. So, it's such a blessing. So, okay, onward. We, the practitioners, are here for you, and we want to invite you back to the back of the sanctuary to pray. We love to pray with you and do all of those, support you. And you don't have to have something wrong. We just want to help you activate your blessings. We want to celebrate the wins with you and continue that consciousness. So don't feel like, oh, I don't have a problem that I want to pray about. We do both. We're very fluid in that way. We pray for anything and everything all the time. So thank you so much. If you are new, if this is your first time here, we want to make sure that you've also received a welcome packet. So if you haven't gotten your welcome packet, please check in at the table outside, and we'll make sure we get you taken care of. Okay, so we're available for prayer back in the back. Also, some practitioners offer spiritual coaching sessions, and we're just so much fun. You really should just try it, like just as an exercise, something new and different to support you in achieving your goals. And you can also request prayer through online on our website, and as well as in the back of the room, there's a prayer box, and when you put your prayer in there, we'll pray for you for 30 days. And we don't even need to know who you are. We just pray. And we've got it going on like that, so we've got that direct connection. So you don't have to identify yourself even. Just bring your stuff and let us hold you. All right, so let's all stand up and close out with our closing affirmation, which is, we are all created equally as whole, perfect, and complete in God. Therefore, I see the good in everything, everywhere, and in everyone, and bless it. And so it is.
Please, if you know this song, please sing with me, please. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth. Well, the stars are all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. And God needs us to shine its light as we, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.